Hey everyone, what's happening? It's Rob, the Generation X Gamer, and I'm going to go over the top 10 Hutt contracts you need to complete if you're new to Star Wars Battlefront, or if you're unsure which Hutt contracts to complete. Before we begin, let's quickly review. Hutt contracts were introduced with the Outer Rim DLC and are available to all players to complete as a means to unlock new weapons and star cards. In order to complete a Hutt contract, you must first buy it, then complete tasks to unlock the item. Some contracts are limited where you have to either have the season pass or specific DLC to buy and complete the contract. Now, prior to Hutt contracts being introduced, in order to unlock new weapons and star cards, you had to achieve a certain rank. With Hutt contracts, you only need to be at rank 12 to have access to it. What I liked about Hutt contracts in the beginning is that they at times force you to use weapons you don't normally use. However, on the flip side to that, if you're not familiar with or good with that weapon, it can take you longer to complete the tasks. Now, as I mentioned earlier, some Hutt contracts are limited to a DLC. So if you don't have that particular DLC or the season pass, you're out of luck. Now, Hutt contracts for star cards have upgraded versions to those base star cards as well. You must purchase the upgraded version of that Hutt contract and complete some tasks using the star card's base ability. So, for your consideration, let's jump into the top 10 list. Starting off at number 10, the A180 Blaster Pistol, also known as Jin's Solution. The A180 was introduced with the Rogue One Scarif DLC and is a blaster pistol used by Jyn Erso, which can be modified to become a blaster rifle, a sniper rifle, and an ion launcher. Now, with these abilities, it's no wonder DICE weapons designer Christian Johansson said that the A180 is the Swiss Army knife of Star Wars Battlefront. Now, when equipping the A180, it replaces your current star card hand with each of the abilities of the weapon. What I like about the A180 is that you can use it on any kind of map, whether it's close quarters or a larger map for those in Walker Assault or Supremacy. Now, the blaster has a decent cooldown rate, but when modified into a blaster rifle, you can shoot unlimited shots until it goes into cooldown mode, and you can see when a cooldown is complete as it has the same animation as a star card as when it goes into cooldown. But if you equip the Bounty Hunter trait, each of the modes will cool down faster. Now, as a blaster pistol, it deals average damage and is a little stronger as a blaster rifle. The sniper mode will one-shot enemies with headshots or with anything on the body if they're not covered in Bacta. And the ion launcher does decent damage to vehicles, especially AT-STs. Now, in order to unlock the A180, you must get 25 kills with blaster pistols, get 30 kills with blaster rifles, and 20 kills with targeting rifles. This means you don't need the Rogue One Scarif DLC to unlock the weapon. Now, I suggest using the DH-17 or the SE-14C for your blaster pistol kills, the A280C, the E11 or the EE4 for your blaster rifle kills, and the Relby V10 for targeting rifle kills. Now, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being the easiest and 5 the hardest, I give this one a 3 only because you need to get 20 kills with targeting rifles. If you don't have the Relby V10, it's a little bit tougher using the T21B. And this Hutt contract costs you 3,500 credits. Next up at number 9, the Shock Grenade, also known as Security. The Shock Grenade was introduced with the Bespin DLC and is a star card. The Shock Grenade delivers a non-lethal electrical discharge, leaving anyone caught in the field incapable of moving. Now, you use this star card to freeze your enemy or multiple enemies, which will allow you to then take them out. Players who are stunned can button mash the action button to quickly get out of the shock and avoid being killed. Players can also use the Adrenaline Stim charge card to negate the effect of the shock grenade. Now, you can use the shock grenade defensively or offensively depending upon your playstyle or how you are approaching an objective. Some players like to pair the shock grenade with the barrage to freeze their opponent and then take them out with the barrage since they are immobilized. It's a handy weapon when you can use in close quarters combat or on larger game modes. Now, the shock grenade costs 3,500 credits, and in order to unlock the base version, you must arm 5 generators and disarm 5 generators in Sabotage. In order to unlock the upgraded version of the shock grenade, which is called Security 2, it costs 8,000 credits, and you must get 50 stun bonuses and 30 kills as Dengar, with the 50 stun bonuses meaning you have to stun 50 enemies. If you don't have the Season Pass or the Bespin DLC, unfortunately you will be out of luck trying to complete this Hutt contract in its upgraded version. On a scale of 1 to 5, I give each version of this contract a 3 because the events are easy to get if you can't buy generators, and the hardest part of unlocking the contract will be getting the 30 kills as Dengar, but really shouldn't take you that long. Next up at number 8, the DT-29 Blaster Pistol, also known as Krennic's Offense. The DT-29 was a new blaster pistol introduced in the Rogue One Scarif DLC. It's a powerful blaster, and if you're good at using pistols that are not automatic, I guarantee you that you will love it. Looking at the stats, the DT-29 does high amounts of damage, its range is average, its rate of fire is quite high, but its cooling power doesn't exist because, unlike all other blasters, DT-29 does not overheat. Instead, the blaster has to be reloaded after 6 shots, similar to a traditional 6-shooter. If you need to reload before you fire all 6 shots, you must press the action button as you would for an objective. You have to be careful though, because if you don't keep track of the number of shots left in the energy pack and you use them all, you're left vulnerable. However, if you equip the Cooling Cell Star card, you will have unlimited shots for as long as the Star card is active. Now, another bonus with the DT-29 is that it's immune to the Disruption Star card because it doesn't have the cooldown. In order to unlock the DT-29, you must first pay 3,500 credits to purchase the contract, then you have to get 25 kills as Krennic, use 10 personal shields, and get 50 kills with blaster pistols. Unfortunately, this means you will have to have the Rogue One Scarif DLC in order to unlock this Hutt contract. On a scale of 1 to 5, I give this contract a 4 because if you try to get the hero pickup during Walker Assault or Supremacy, it'll be hard to find the hero pickup and grab it before anybody else does. So I suggest playing either Heroes vs. Villains or Hero Hunt to get those kills. Coming in at number 7, the TL-50 Heavy Repeater, also known as the Imperial Instrument. The TL-50 Heavy Repeater was introduced with Death Star DLC. This blaster rifle was very popular when it was first released and is still somewhat popular on the Battlefront today. Looking at the stats of the TL-50, the damage generated is on the weaker side compared to other blasters in the game, and it's felt immediately if you use it in close quarters, as you will lose that battle most of the time. The blaster has above average range, plus it has a high rate of fire and is extremely accurate due to very low to no recoil. What makes this blaster so unique is its secondary fire concussion rounds. This was the first blaster that featured a secondary fire when it was first released, and is very popular with players because they could fire the concussion round and not have to equip thermal detonators, because that round was just as effective or more effective as a thermal detonator. Players were able to spam the secondary fire as they were able to easily apply the cooling flush once you fired the round. As powerful as secondary fire was, it travels in an arc, so you have to aim it properly at longer distances for it to be effective. Due to its large radius and overpowered nature of the secondary fire, it was eventually nerfed with the Rogue One Scarif DLC. The blast radius is now smaller, and you have to be very skilled to trigger the cooldown once you use the secondary fire. Now, even with the nerf, the blaster is still a good choice in the Battlefront in medium to long range maps. I suggest passing on the TL-50 on short range and close quarter maps because, as I mentioned earlier, you will have better alternatives due to the weaker damage output of the TL-50. Now, in order to unlock it, you have to purchase the contract for 3,500 credits, and you must get 20 kills as an Empire soldier, get 75 blaster kills, heavy blaster kills such as the DLT-19, and win 1 round of Battle Station in the Death Star DLC. Unfortunately, this means you have to either have the Death Star DLC or the Season Pass. Now, on a scale of 1 to 5, I give this a 3 because of the 75 kills needed with a heavy blaster. It could take you a little while, but eventually you will get there. At number 6 is the Adrenaline Stim, also known as Combat Rush. The Adrenaline Stim was introduced with the Outer Rim DLC. According to the description, the Adrenaline Stim is injected into the bloodstream and greatly enhances the body's healing rate for a brief period of time. The Adrenaline Stim is a charged star card that is active for 7 seconds and has a 20-second cooldown. When you activate it, you will continually get healed as long as the card is active. It doesn't prevent you from being killed completely, but it does take the enemy a few more shots to kill you. I found that I played my best when I used this card in my loadout over the personal shield because I could still attack and be healed at the same time. Now, in the past, before DICE changed all the traits, combining it with the Berserker trait makes you extremely powerful because you would be an absolute tank because it would counter the slow health regeneration of the trait. I did, however, find that I used the card a lot to try to prevent myself from dying before I went into battle, where I would activate the card when I knew I would be in a situation where it would be a 1 versus 1 or when I would be outgunned. Plus, if you combine it with the Bacta bomb, it will take your enemy even more shots to kill you. Upgrading the card with the Stim 2 Hutt contract costs 8,000 credits, but it's worth it because you gain an additional 3 seconds of active time to push it to 10 seconds. To unlock the base version, you have to pay 1,700 credits, and you have to get a 2,500 objective score in extraction. And for the upgraded card, you must use 20 adrenaline stims and 20 personal shields. You need to have the Outer Rim DLC or the Season Pass to unlock the base contract, so like others, you're stuck if you have neither. On a scale of 1 to 5, I give this Hutt contract a 2 because it's fairly easy to get. Alright, next up at number 5, the Berserker trait, also known as Mandalorian Strength. The Berserker trait was introduced in the spring of 2016, and you didn't need to own a DLC or the Season Pass to unlock it. Since then, the trait has gone through some changes, with the biggest occurring with the entire trait system change by DICE with the Death Star DLC. Now, the description of the trait is as follows. Living under vicious conditions in the Outer Rim, you learn not only to resist pain, but also harness it to become stronger than your opponents. Now, the original trait levels were the following. At level 1, you got a small blast of damage boost when hurt. At level 2, you got a medium blast of damage boost when hurt. And at level 3, you got medium blast of damage boost when hurt and damage resistance. And when this trait was first released, you were able to deal more damage to enemies when you were not at 100% health. However, at the same time, your health regeneration will be slower, allowing you to be killed quicker. So it's kind of like a give and take. You could deal more damage but could be alive for a shorter period of time. As soon as you took damage, the trait was active, whether it was a reduction of 5 or 50 health points. Players at first learned that they can trigger the trait by walking over fire or into the sulfur pits on Sullus to gain an unfair advantage. Due to this, DICE changed the active time of the trait to when your health was at 76 or less. Now, as I mentioned in my review of the Adrenaline Stim, combine the trait with it and your health will be regenerated without having to wait due to the effect of the trait. You also can use the Bacta bomb to regenerate your health instead of the Adrenaline Stim, or pair the two to quickly regain your health. Now, back then, as with most traits, the real power wasn't available until you reached level 3, and then once you reached it, you were able to absorb 50% less damage and deal the same amount of damage at level 2, making you resistant to damage similar to the Bodyguard trait, but also to be able to deal more damage. Now, once I unlocked the trait, I used it exclusively, and it helped me win a good fair share of battles because I was able to finish off an opponent before they could take me out, especially at level 3. Okay, so let's fast forward to the Death Star DLC, and the developers retooled all the traits in the game. For the Berserker, it was changed to the following. At level 1, you get a low blast of damage boost of about 15% when firing from the hip. At level 2, you get a medium blast of damage boost of about 30% when firing from the hip. And at level 3, you got a high blast of damage boost of about 50% when firing from the hip. And with this change, you need to be hip firing and not zooming in or aiming down sight for the effectiveness of the trait to work. Unlike in the past, you also don't have to take damage for the trait to be active. Now, yes, we lost the damage resistance, but the trait is still powerful enough and is very effective in close quarter maps. To this day, I still use the trait depending upon the mode and the map. I wouldn't suggest you use it in battle station or sabotage due to the extreme close quarter natures of those modes. Now, the Hutt contract costs 8,000 credits to purchase it, and to unlock it, you must reach trait level 3 on any trait card 5 times. On a scale of 1 to 5, I give this Hutt contract a 3 only because of the new trait system. If we're talking about the older days in the old system, I would give this trait a 2 because once you died at trait level 2, you can easily get some kills and get back to level 3, which counts towards your goal to unlock the trait or the contract. With the new trait system, it may take you longer to unlock it, but it's well worth it once you do. Now, even with the change, the Berserker trait is still one of the more popular traits in the game. At number 4, we have the Dioxis grenade, also known as Hostile Negotiations. The Dioxis grenade was introduced with the Outer Rim DLC. The throwing the grenade deploys a toxic gas that is deadly to any soldier or soldiers caught in the green mist. Now, it has a pretty good spread, more than the thermal detonator, and is active for more than a few seconds. And once anyone sees the green gas cloud, they immediately back off to avoid damage or dying. The Dioxis grenade is a great weapon to clear enemies from objectives and suppressing them from entering an area, and usually kills enemies in a few seconds. If you're playing Extraction, throw a Dioxis grenade at the shipment to keep enemies from moving or stopping it. If you're playing Sabotage, just keep throwing the Dioxis grenades at the generators to keep soldiers from either arming or disarming the generators. And it's especially effective in indoor maps. In the second stage of Battle Station, keep throwing those Dioxis grenades down corridors to prevent enemies from approaching, and keep R2-D2 covered in it to prevent enemies from capturing them. And even if you don't get a kill with it, Dioxis damage taken by enemies goes towards your point total. Now, one of the other great things about the Dioxis grenade is that it works against heroes and villains too. So if you got one coming at you or in an area, just keep throwing those Dioxis grenades. It works against them extremely well. Now, here's another tactic you can use. Throw a smoke grenade and a Dioxis grenade at the same time in the same place. This way you can trick enemies to thinking they can run into the cloud because they only think it's a smoke cloud. Now, although the Hutt contract was introduced with the Outer Rim DLC, you don't need to own the DLC or the Season Pass to unlock either version of the contract. The base card and base Hutt contract cost 3,500 credits, and to unlock it, you must use 20 smoke grenades and blind 20 enemies with the flash grenade. To get the upgraded black card, that Hutt contract costs 8,000 credits. You must get 15 kills with the Dioxis grenade, get 25 kills with any explosive device, meaning like a thermal detonator, thermal imploder, or impact grenades, and use 20 cooling cells. Now, on a scale of 1 to 5, I give this Hutt contract a 1 because unlocking the base card is extremely easy to complete. The hardest part of the upgraded card is getting 25 explosive kills, but having a well-timed thermal imploder in a hallway will give you a lot of kills quickly. At number 3 is the EE4, also known as Santa's Legacy. The EE4 is a blaster rifle and has the following description. While its predecessor, the EE3, focuses on precision and range, the EE4 was constructed with a short and stubby barrel to allow it to fire more effectively at a closer range with spread shots. Despite the reduction in accuracy at range, the weapon makes up for it with a greater rate of fire. Now, the story of Santa's Legacy is about Santa Staros, who was revealed in the Star Wars comic book series, and she debuted in number 4. In the story, she tracks down Han Solo and tells Leia that she is Han's wife. Now, it turns out the marriage was a lie, only to trick a crime lord who had been double-crossing spice smugglers. In the story, she wields the EE4, and it was great to see the developers dig this deep into the comic series to give us such an awesome weapon. The E4 was released with the Bespin DLC and has been either a fan favorite or hated by fans since its release. At close range, the blaster is one of, if not the best in the game. I use this weapon almost exclusively on close quarters maps. You can take out enemies who are not protected with Bacta in about 2 bursts. However, as the description says, the blaster fires and spreads, so at longer distances you will have a harder time taking out enemies. However, if you want to be more accurate, pair the EE4 with the focus fire card and your bursts won't spread as much. In game modes such as Hero Hunt and Heroes vs Villains, use the EE4 with the cooling cell and you will do an incredible amount of damage to heroes or villains. If you want to use the EE4 in larger game modes, you'll have to play using close quarter tactics, but you'll be rewarded with this power. To this day, players do complain that the EE4 is OP and needs to be nerfed, even after DICE nerfed the EE4 in the summer of 2016. It can be annoying to be taken out quickly by someone using the EE4, and for those of us that do use it, it has an annoying habit of sometimes locking up when firing. Now, even with the lack of accuracy at long distances and the issues with locking up, this blaster is one of the best in the game and you must unlock it. The contract costs 3,500 credits, and to unlock it you must get 30 kills with the EE3, get 3 blaster rifle streaks, and get 10 generator defense events. Now, what this means is that you have to have the Bespin DLC or the Season Pass to unlock this contract. On a scale of 1 to 5, I give this contract a 3 only because you have to have the DLC or Season Pass. If you have either, just camp out next to a generator and you should unlock this blaster quickly. At number 2, it's the Scattergun, also known as the Slug Thrower. The Scattergun was released with the Outer Rim DLC and as a star card. The description is as follows. With its crude design, the Scattergun is infamous for its hailstorm of micro shards that are capable of both piercing shields, tearing up droids, and also effectively dispatching enemy soldiers. The Scattergun has been one of my favorite star cards since it was added to the game. At first, it was a great tool simply to take out enemies who use personal shields, but you quickly learn that you can use it to one-shot kill enemies, take out droids and turrets with it, and deal a great amount of damage to heroes. Alright, so let's talk about using it in game modes. In cargo, you can equip it to take out the cargo carrier. In droid run, take out an enemy trying to capture a droid. And the same goes for drop zone, if you take out someone quickly trying to capture a drop pod. Now, any mode with an objective, the Scattergun can be equipped. Use it on larger modes such as Walker Assault to take out someone turning the uplink on or off. Simply put, the Scattergun is in one of my 2 hands almost all the time. If I'm on a close quarters map, it's either paired with the Bacta bomb or some other star card. Even if the enemy has healed themselves with Bacta, it can still one-hit kill them. And if you're accurate, the scattergun can take out an enemy at more than just close range. Now the Hutt contract is a must for anyone playing the game. The cost for the base card in the base Hutt contract is 3,500 credits, and to unlock it you have to get 40 kills with the CA-87 and use 20 focus fire charges. The 40 kills with the CA-87 could take a while, but my suggestion is to play Droid Runner Drop Zone with the CA-87 and you'll be able to get to 40 kills in about 3 to 4 games, and maybe even less if you're highly skilled. Equip the Focus Fire Star card and keep using it until you complete the task. The cooldown for the base card is 30 seconds, which is a bit long, so my suggestion is to upgrade to the black card and purchase the second Hutt contract, which costs 8,000 credits. And to unlock it, you must do the following. Get 3 shock blaster streaks, get 30 kills with the scattergun, and kill 15 enemies with any shock blaster. Now here's my tips for unlocking this version of the card. Use the CA-87 with the scattergun to get your streak. The CA-87 is a shock blaster, so using both will help you complete that part quicker. What you have to be aware of though is that the 15 kills you need to get have to be in one game. You will notice if you don't get the 15 kills, the status of the contract will change after that game is over. And once you complete the contract, the cooldown will be decreased to 25 seconds. On a scale of 1 to 5, this contract is a 3 only because the difficulty with the 15 kills for the upgraded card. And now, for the number 1 Hutt contract you must complete, it's the Bacta Bomb, also known as Medic. Bacta Bomb Hutt contract was released in the spring of 2016 to all players. The description for the card is as follows. The Bacta Bomb contains a synthetic healing fluid, which, upon impact, vaporizes into a healing mist. Soldiers who come in contact with it are granted a health boost. Now the Bacta Bomb Star card is a must for anyone playing Star Wars Battlefront. Using the card to heal yourself is one of the best tactics to use while playing. In addition to healing yourself, you can heal teammates as well. When the card was first released, you would automatically heal to 100% and get a 30-point health bonus. The mist for the Bacta Cloud was large enough to heal multiple teammates at once and even for a while after the Bacta Bomb was thrown. If you paired it with the Bodyguard trait and the Adrenaline Stim Star card, you are very difficult to kill. The card is used just by about everyone playing the game, and with that came some players taking advantage of the mist where they would be unable to be hit by enemies. And due to this, DICE changed the behavior of the Bacta Bomb with the release of the Death Star DLC, and in my opinion, it was for the better. First off, when you throw the Bacta Bomb, you don't automatically get the 30 health points. You get additional health over a period of 5 seconds. If you're not hit during that time, you receive the full 30 bonus health points. If you are hit during any of that time, the bonus health is stopped. Players also could not take advantage of the Bacta Cloud and be impervious to damage. Now, in addition, the Bacta Cloud was made smaller, this way teammates from far away couldn't get the bonus health as well. If you heal 5 or more teammates, you get a bonus score in the game. Now, even though these changes were welcome with open arms, DICE made further revisions to their card with the Rogue One Scarab DLC. Players can now provide heroes and villains with a 10-point health bonus with the Bacta Bomb, which is good because we should have been able to heal heroes and villains from the beginning. However, heroes and villains can only receive 10 bonus health points, so if multiple players throw a Bacta Bomb at a hero or villain, they can only receive the bonus from one of those Bacta Bombs. If you heal your teammates, it also now goes towards leveling up with your trait. So, if you heal multiple teammates, you can now level up faster. The Bacta Bomb really promotes team play, and you can use it to your advantage by keeping yourself at full health and from dying often. The base card and base Hutt contract cost 3,500 credits, and in order to unlock it, you must get a 5,000 objective score, which is pretty easy. The base card also has a 30-second cooldown, so if you want the card to cool down faster, simply unlock the upgraded black card. To do that, you have to purchase the second Hutt contract, which costs 8,000 credits, and you have to heal 50 team members and use 20 personal shields. This will lower the cooldown for the card to 25 seconds, which is acceptable for this type of card. Now, on a scale of 1 to 5, I give this Hutt contract a 1 because it's very easy to unlock, and as I said earlier, it is a must for anyone playing the game. Well, that's it for this top 10 and my first entry into the new to Star Wars Battlefront series, and I hope you liked this top 10 list. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you agree with this list, and let me know what contracts should be higher, lower, or if any you feel I left out. And please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. More Star Wars Battlefront and gaming news to come. Generation X Gamer, out.